on me.
It goes a little something like this.
Just lean on me. Just lean on me. Just lean on me.
Can I get a yes? No. Why?
I ain't happy, cause I came back for these troubles to grab me, and they've gotten a hold on me. My oh my, things ain't what they used to be. Looks to me like East Side got problems. Now it's time to see what we can do to solve them. Change for the better, letter, new rule be enforced in school so we can get rid of all the bad apples in the bunch. Clean off the walls and cook better lunch. Put the students in class where they should be. To stop roaming the halls and oh could we please eliminate the drug situation. Stop smoking and get an education. Point blank, let's change the whole scenery. You need help? Well hey, lean on me. What do you do in a situation like this? Get tough or get this? The job is yours, play the boss, enforce the laws because the source is knowledge. Wanna go to college or wanna be garbage? It's up to you, so what you gonna do? I prefer to learn, cause this is for your own concern. You gotta earn however the world turns. So wake up and put some sense in your head. Don't be misled, use your brain instead. Because a brother like me can't understand you playing yourself cheap like a soggy old pamper. Since I'm around, I'm destined and bound to resurrect and perfect the entire school around. The whole entourage, a class so large under Joe Clark.
Yes, another edition of the late night chop up. Pastor Ben back with my brother Will McKee. We back at it. It's been a minute, brother. I hope you're doing well. What's going on?
Man, I'm doing well. Blessed to be. Glad to be in the building with you on this evening. How you been?
No doubt, no doubt. Well, with that, we let me bring my brother on. Look like he's up in the building. Let me see. Let me bring him on in. Brother Malcolm D.
Yes, sir.
Back in the building. What's going on, brother Malcolm?
What's up, fellas, man?
Hey,
Good
look,
and you, bro?
I caught you a little bit bobbing your head to that BDK. I had to
Man,
do that.
that's the lean on me. Yeah, man. Clean up the schools and cook better lunch. Man,
Right.
that's that Joe Clark.
Right.
I am the head in charge.
That's right. That's right. So we had to do that because you know what's coming up on next Sunday. So we gotta start prepping and getting ready for the classic showdown.
Have mercy.
That's coming up between two hip hop legends as well as two of the baddest freestyle battling MCs on the planet.
Mean.
So I'm gonna say this, and I told McKee this. I said I think majority of the battle on Sunday is probably gonna be them freestyling and battling. They might do a couple his hit and they gonna battle a little bit, or even half the show.
You right, Pastor?
Yeah.
You right? What they say? What they say in the 5 Heartbeats? You right, Pastor Blaster? You right? You right? But me and Will Blast been talking about that all week because Will had to straighten me out because I said, Will, where are we going with this battle? And we'll have to outline how it came because I was like, man, this is awkward. Like, there was some stuff that I didn't understand, but Will got me straight, so I'm back.
Yeah, because I said, I was like, if you look at the format of how this whole thing started,
right,
with the legends, going head to head and the battle style format, you had to at least bring some of the originators of MC battling or some of the pioneers
right
on to really set the stage. And when you look at the last couple shows with Fat Joe and Ja Rule and the Locks, Dipset, hip hop, and that theme, you got to take it back to the foundation. So I see where it's fitting. You know, we you know, it's almost like you had to do it, so we wouldn't leave the questions like, what if they'd have had such battling? You know, because I mean, if you look at the success of like the rap battles now, just that whole entity, like, where did it start? What better platform than to put it on in this big stage with the verses, you know?
Right.
So
Right.
with that, you know, I gotta put you brothers on the spot. Don't you know I gotta put you on the spot.
Oh shoot!
Is it who's gonna take it first? Is it gonna be BDK or the Blast Master? What we thinking?
I'm gonna pass the offering plate to Pastor Ben to Will. Brother Will, can you assist on this offering plate? Because Will, I've been confused for a few weeks, and Will's been trying to keep me tight. So tonight, I said I'm gonna come on and jump on with you, good fellas, because I was like, man, I don't know. I could provide some history on how this came about, but Will.
Well, we should get into that then. I don't want to put y'all on the spot. I had to though.
I know you did, Will.
Yeah.
Will.
Yeah, you know, well, good to see you, bro, Malcolm. Shout out
my
to
brother, always, man.
No doubt. Shout out to the Boogie Down and the whole NYC and everybody. Why? You know, I think that you know, I was actually bouncing this off of Ben while I was bouncing it back and forth with you, Malcolm, because you know, Ben saw the vision for this immediately. Like he had already been either thinking this or wanting this, as a lot of people have.
Hold on,
you
the
know,
battle
I'm
with
gonna
these
hold
two guys.
my prediction to
The battle with these two guys, y'all saw that coming? Yeah. Oh man, y'all are good.
Ben,
okay, good,
Ben
cool.
Did more than me. Ben did more than I did. And he has a KRS-One on his ring too, by the way. And he's had that for yeah. I think it's I Love You. Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah. I'm gonna hold my prediction till a little later in the show, but I want to go a slightly different direction than that. I first of all, I want to pay homage to the fact that these two pioneers are being given their flowers, as Ben said, and as you said over the phone. You know, that's a blessing. You know, in this day of COVID or just in the world, period. We know we don't often get a chance to do that. And this is a blessing to really be able to do that, which I think is the real gift of Versus, is that we're able to celebrate and salute people that have been awesome. They do. And, you know, we've been on the march for this piece on world hunger for the last few weeks and actually hit the pavement in the crop walk recently to make a dent in hunger in the world. And when you look at these two brothers, KRS and Big Daddy. Number one, they were both positive MCs. You know, they had a wide range of repertoire, and you know, we don't pigeonhole people in hip hop to just a monolith of one thing. But when you look at KRS-One coming out of the Bronx and living in a homeless for quite some time, is kind of emblematic of hunger, homelessness, and poverty. But my old boss out of Chicago, Dr. Foster, used to say, out of his calamity came his providence. kind of saying that, sometimes out of a bad situation, if we can keep the faith, like DJ, who was that? Sugar Free Ben, who said they thought I wasn't gonna make it, and I asked God to send me a boat, and DJ came. He's in this homeless shelter. He meets Scott LaRock, and Scott LaRock, being a counselor, saw something in him, like you did with your students all these years, Malcolm. You two being as educators. Just to kind of wrap this up, where I'm going with this, Scott LaRock sees some greats in this brother, and steers him in a direction that would be life changing for himself, and historic, in where his creative genius sends the art form, which New York fashion and New York art shape, influences, and people down in Wilson, North Carolina are getting historical lessons through a MC that may not have happened had he not been in a homeless shelter, maybe had he not met Scott LaRock, which we all need that mentor, that person. So I just wanted to say that real quick about KRS and our emblem of kind of ending hunger and ending homelessness and correcting poverty, poor people's campaign, Dr. Barber. Just a quick piece. And Big Daddy Kane comes from humble beginnings as well. And through everything that he went through in Brooklyn and his kind of journey in New York City, he was able to eke out at every stage of his career something to uplift. And you guys Ben started with Lean on Me, and his contribution to that groundbreaking song that inspired a lot of people to go into education following Patterson, New Jersey, and Joe Clark's situation. So before we get into who's going to win, I just wanted to salute them for their struggle, for their overcoming their struggle. And, they're inspirational for everybody out here that may fall on hard times. You can still do this thing if you keep the faith. Yeah. I just wanted to start off like that.
Absolutely. Word.
No doubt.
So it's on you, Malcolm, as far as, where you want to go with the battle, or, what you feeling about this? What does your gut tell you about this matchup?
This is one of those matchups that I was telling you, Will, all week, that I didn't even know this was going to happen, because it caught me off guard, because after Ja Rule and Fat Joe, I felt like, wow, all right, so where they going with this next? And then I thought it would be Jermaine Dupri and Puff. So when I saw the Fat Joe show, I thought it was going to be those guys. And then someone called me and said, no, man, look up, because it's about to be Big Daddy Kane and KRS-One. I was like, what? It was a little awkward, because I know Kane is waiting to body somebody. So I was like, man, okay, Kane's been waiting. And there's only one person Kane's been waiting for, and that's Rakim. And that's why I was like, wow, all right, so it's not going to be Rakim, it's going to be Chris. And I was like, oh, but Chris ain't going to let you do that to him, and nor would Rob. But at the same time, I was a little thrown off, Will. That's when I called you at lunchtime on some old Will to plug me in. I'm lost. What the heck is going on?
So do you think, are you hearing that? And for those of you who may not have seen our previous shows, Malcolm, in addition to being a stellar educator and author of note, he's also a manager of Technician the DJ, who has been kind of Mr. Versus, you might say, with his DJ and bringing the DJ back to prominence, you could also say, in hip hop through verses. And Malcolm is manages Tech. Shout out to him. So that's the kind of, and he's a Bronx guy, Bronx, New York. So he was around a lot of this. So for those of you who are new, that's who that's the kind of, intelligence we're pricking here. So I just wanted to ask you, had you heard anything? Is there a hold up or some kind of shakiness off and Jermaine Dupri battling?
No,
is going on with that, or is that still possible?
I don't even. I thought Jermaine laid the battle down. Then Puff didn't want to do it. Then they said Puff would do it, and they said that was coming. That's what I thought was going to be the next one. Then so when Kane and Chris KRS-One popped up, I was like, wow, okay, this may be something in the middle to keep us okay until those guys do it. But I didn't think Kane and Chris was that. I didn't even think that was even on the table. To some people call me. So I've been out the loop with that stuff for a minute. And when I talked to Technician, the DJ, he said that he really didn't know, but it popped up on their radar too. The only thing was Rakim is on tour the day before. The day of the versus, Rakim has a show and Tech DJs for Rakim. So we figured that, okay, it's not going to be Rakim. I knew that off the bat. It's not going to be him. But that's the battle that we all wanted since we were young kids growing up.
Yeah.
Pastor Ben, Will. Yeah. That's what we. So if anyone's listening that's younger than us and trying to figure this out, that was the battle we all talked about for so long. I never knew it'd be KRS-One and Kane. That's different. That's different. Yeah. We always thought it'd be Rakim and Kane to finally settle the type of Ali Frazier, the type of rivalry that we thought we would ever see. You know, we thought we would see that, but yeah. You know, it's what it is.
So
now this
is like Foreman, like George Foreman being. It's like a Foreman being substituted for Ali or Frazier.
It's like a Foreman and Frazier, Foreman and Norton or something. And you like, well, we'll do that, but that's not what we were supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because if KRS-One thinks for a second that he's in for a light walk or walk in the park with Kane, he's in trouble. If Kane thinks that he's in a quick walk through with Chris, he's in trouble. So that may make it pretty decent, but I don't know if this era is ready for that.
Yeah,
and I'll get into the venue later because Will loves when I get into where venues at and how they can't pack a place and they won't get the numbers and I get into all that too. So
yeah, we go get into that, but I really think like this one is for the truly for the culture, like the cultic following.
Yeah,
like the old school hip hoppers.
Yep,
and I need the old school hip hoppers to come out and really show some love for this. Even if they don't go on purpose, we gotta try to set some records online. You know what I'm saying? Because I truly think if this one goes well, it might urge others like a Rakim to come on. Maybe some of the old school group. We might can see a Tribe Called Quest versus somebody or a De La. You know, so I'm hoping that this can set a tone to encourage some of us old school hip hoppers that grew up on it to get some of our favorites out to participate. Go ahead, Will.
Well, I mean, on that, I'm gonna feed off what you're saying. A lot of people said if you heard Tyler, the Creator's comments about Jadakiss, that was a perfect snapshot of what Versus has been. The pandemic has your attention. You know, people are tuning into online things like never before. And Tyler, the Creator, who is one of today's mega stars, a super creative young guy, is sitting there watching Jadakiss, a legend. Now, had it not been for Versus, does Tyler, the Creator, ever catch Jadakiss doing that? So this is kind of a masterclass of MCing, you could argue. And Jadakiss kind of taught the freshman seminar the other week with Tech, and here now you're bringing in two heavyweights that are battling, and battle rap is the DNA of hip hop. But even more importantly, maybe, is that younger MCs, young people, middle-aged people, and old schoolers are able to see this kind of substance. Because I don't get into, and I'll be quiet after this, I don't get into versus the old heads. That's a discussion, but I think, uh, generation gaps. Bob Marley sang about the problem with generation gaps, and you got to go about that stuff kind of delicately when you're telling a generation that they have anything to offer. I think there's a lot to offer in this generation. It's changed as hip hop grew, to different places around the country. That culture of those local places was infused into it. MCing changed, but this is an opportunity for everybody to see microphone, masters do that craft with everybody watching. That has not happened before.
That's right. That's right.
It didn't happen before. It's his story.
That's right.
And they get a payday. I mean, what did Jay-Z say? I'm overcharging them for what they did to the Cold Crush. You're talking about a time where hip hop was underappreciated financially. There weren't the big mega record deals. They were doing it for the love. And this is a chance for those brothers to get blessed as well. And maybe their catalogs will jump, after this. They deserve that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Myron, you spoke to, is there a little more history behind this? Some of this battle or just
because for years we thought, I'm still stuck on what is not Rakim and Kane.
Oh yeah.
I'm still stuck on why it's not that. So when I say it's not that, that's what I think all three of us, and is probably your listeners, and if they tune in tonight or if they catch the rewind of this, they'll say the same thing we're saying. That's what we wanted. But you'd be surprised at how many people don't remember. That's how bad we wanted that. Yeah. And I'll be honest, I stood on the Rakim side in high school, but there was records that my friends would remind me of that. I said, I don't know if Rakim could stand up to some of the stuff Kane was doing. And that was where we would leave it. So it's more to that. I just think KRS-One was anxious to battle anybody moving, right? And I think Kane felt the same way. I think by the time Rakim probably said, I'm ready, dates get involved, managers get involved, We'll last when I get into the I don't want to deal with managers thing, because I don't, and I don't like all of that. And they twist that up and twist that around, and you don't have the battle that you really wanted. So I'll say that much.
Mm-hmm. Which makes it kind of like prize fighting, professional.
No, you're right. Well, go ahead. Mm-hmm. Yep, I was about to say the same thing. That's that Ali Frazier. That's that Foreman Frazier. You're like, okay, Ali Norton, and you like, that's a good fight, but that's not what we were like asking for. And you get that, and then we're so glad to have it. We're gonna run to it. So that's what that's at.
Yeah. And I'm gonna throw it out there. I'm gonna put it in the energy in the air that we should jump on after the battle and critique it and discuss it. It's like having Langston Hughes and Richard Wright from the Harlem Renaissance do a poetry slam against each other. I mean, they're, or Paul Lawrence Dunbar, versus Casey Cullen, straight out of Harlem. It's on that level, and we get a chance to. They didn't have that technology back then. We have it now, and we get a chance. And I say that because, as what we know, it was as Dead Brad said, it was bigger than hip hop. It was their lyrics were catalysts for people to be exposed to types of information that they would have never come across in Wichita, Kansas. So, just like I told y'all, you must learn. That was he, and in fact, he added words to the lexicon, to the dictionary, edutainment. This was creative genius, and we learned.
Yep.
We did learn. He told us we must learn, and we did learn.
Yeah.
So I would challenge us to come on after the show and really chop it up. It'd be nice to get a somebody from that younger generation to watch it, and bring them on too to see how they process all that. Holler at G Santana, Pastor Ben. For those who don't know, KRS-One a few years back grabbed a Greensboro rapper named G Santana, and when KRS does his global tours or he's on a substantial tour, he'll take G Santana out with him, who's a Greensboro native and a freestyle guy. He's just like a young KRS. So he's gonna be biased because that's his mentor. We were blessed to have him on the cable access TV show, and he's a great young guy. But see younger to see how they see it.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Because it reminds me of Grandmaster Cass and the Cold Crush battling the Fantastic Four, which my older brothers remembered. My older brothers are 10 and 8 years older than me, so they remember it better than me. They would tell me stories about that battle where the Fantastic Four won the battle by fan cheers, but lyrically it was the Cold Crush that years later everyone said, man, they were way better. But that's going to be one of those things that we're going to have to get through, where showmanship could win that stuff. And then, whatever happens after that is going to be up to the people, but showmanship can win a lot of stuff. Right.
And that's big because if you remember Kane was the showman.
Still is.
And dancing and had it. KRS was more the cipher sweet, so that could be big. And that might be that connection piece that draws them in, the young cat is watching hip hop and they know the battle part, but they see the entertainment side of the old school. Now I don't know if Kane does all the dancing anymore with his live show, but if they do bring some of the dancing back or some of the tracks, it could be that thing that bridges. But I will say, KRS though, I don't think KRS has ever stopped touring.
No, by no means. By no means.
23 albums deep. So he's been, one of his lyrics, he said, when I finally did my 1,000th show and became a pro. So, you see how he credits the stage, like thousands of shows. And so that could play in just who's been more active in it, I think it's going to be interesting.
Big shout out
to
Yoga. Yeah, big shout out to Yoga's sister.
Yes.
And she had made a great point. Hip hop is now a leading industry. To that point, just of Yoga's sister's energy, hip hop now garners about 31% of the entire music industry revenue. So when you think of every other genre of music that there is, it has to in that 69%. So hip hop is by far up tops. So Yoga, you're very right. And so anytime anything happens in this art form, it's cataclysm. It's epic. It's global. It's all that. And yeah, great point that she made. But I did want to feed off something you said too, being in style makes fights in boxing. We say. So you bring out a great point as well, being these are two different styles, as you said. One was a show, and I will never forget one of the biggest Southern shows back in the golden era of hip hop. We say in about from 88 or 87 through about 95 was Aggie Fest. And for those of you who are not from North Carolina A&T State University had a epic like a black Woodstock that was called Aggie Fest, and it was a huge deal. And the last major Aggie, they would make so much money at Aggie Fest that this government association at North Carolina A&T would have the budget of a small black college. That they brought so much revenue into Aggie Fest. Then Freaknik in Atlanta kind of dispersed that crowd as Aggie Fest kind of succumbed to some conflict that started happening there, unfortunately. But Big Daddy Kane did the last big one, and he was Jay-Z of that period right there. For 2 or 3 years, he was the Jay-Z of then. And I'll never forget, he said, I've been rocking like this. I first begun. I'm staying at the Sheraton. Peace. And the place went wild.
Told me that.
That was his last piece, his last song.
You told me that. Will you told me that?
Yeah, the Sheraton. Yeah.
You told me when Kane said that. When Kane said that, you told me that. When Kane said that, I was like, for real?
That was bold, too. That was bold.
Yeah, that was bold. That was his showmanship. But I'll say this too, guys. I know they
stormed the Sheraton.
Oh, the Sheraton was never the same. But I'll say this too. Because he probably was at the Marriott, knowing him. He's a smooth operator. But I'll say this. KRS came to Stats Bar and Grill, or I forget what they call it, Stats in Charlotte. Fast forward up 2 years ago, right before COVID. I caught KRS in Charlotte, North Carolina at Stats, right over near UNC Charlotte, where G Santana opened up for wall-to-wall act. You would have thought you were in the Bronx, and he tore the stage apart.
And nobody got robbed.
No,
then you wasn't in the Bronx. If nobody got robbed, then
well, it wasn't just the Bronx then. It was.
I'm about to say, well, because nobody got robbed. I feel you though.
No. And you couldn't catch a subway home. You couldn't. You had to drive.
You weren't getting out of there with $1 cab or a cab. You weren't getting out of there.
But his energy. Yeah. Go ahead.
I will say, looking at some of the comments KRS was making, he was like, Big Daddy's my man, but he's like, I don't know, because we know KRS first called out Nas.
Who?
So this was we've always wanted to see Kane and Rakim. Kane's always said, I wanted to battle Rakim and stuff. And then, KRS was actually calling out Nas because he said Nas has a catalog that can battle his. But he said Big Daddy's my man, but he's like, I don't know. He said Kane's only got 2 albums to my 23. And he's like, I live this lifestyle. I am hip hop, so I come to ruin MCs. That's what I do. So KRS has been playing it up, and he's truly coming to battle. So I with that energy that you speak of, McKee, from when you went to Charlotte, it's gonna be high intense. Now I know they at the Barclay, so I don't know, Malcolm. You could probably speak more to that and how that looks. But I mean, KRS is planning to like truly battle, from what it sounds like.
You got it, because I think Versus requires 20 records from each artist. So those guys are gonna have to come up with 20 records. Now you gotta think about it. If you're gonna jump an arena around, we know 18,000, and Will laughs at me when I say this. 18,000 ain't coming in to see them. So it's got to be the Ray Charles effect, where you turn down the lights in the back of the arena and move all the lights to the front of the arena that covers 5,000 people, hopefully. And then you have to get 20 records out of these guys, and some are going to be album cuts, because you can't do those guys don't have 20 hit. They don't have 20 hit records. They just don't. We may have like 20. We could name 20 songs in our sleep probably from each of them, but those are going to be some album cuts in there. You're just not going to jump around off of 20 hits. You're not going to have that. That's going to be their challenge.
Yeah. That's where the showmanship, the battle, the freestyle is going to come in.
And you can't use the mix. You can't do the locks where you have the mixtape circuit that served them well for so long, and that's more relevant because it was the 90s, the late 90s, early 2000s. These guys didn't have that outlet, so that's out. So now you're down to hit records and album cuts. You can't say I went up to the radio and spit a freestyle that everyone loved, or I had a mixtape that I was on Clue or SNS or Technician or Kid Capri or whoever was doing that. Ron G. They don't have a doo-wop. They don't have those guys didn't have that outlet. So now you're down into straight singles and album cuts, B-sides. So now we got to deal with that.
See, and I think that's where the advantage might go to the Blastmaster, because he got the tracks with BDP. He's got the solo, a couple of solo. I think he can mix it up a little better, But if they blend in the appearances, Kane might throw in, they might throw in the symphony. If he can bring
KRS has nothing for that. KRS has nothing for that.
Yeah.
If he does the symphony, that symphony shows up anywhere in the world past the bend and Will Blast, ain't nothing. If Kane even entertains a piece of that damn symphony with Master Ace and all Cool G Rap and all them kids on it, there's nothing in that. What are you going to do? What do you do? What do you do?
And that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping out the back comes Cool G Rap, Craig G, Master Ace.
That's what will happen.
And Marley, and because the only thing KRS Mike could do to top that is if he bring everybody out, they do self-destruction.
And that's not gonna happen. That's too many outside entities that's gonna come in there. Yeah, there's too many. But you're right. D-Nice produced that record too, so maybe that may help. They may help Chris a little bit, but I don't know, And for those that wouldn't know, for me growing up, a little history was we were first Scott LaRock fans because my brothers liked Scott LaRock as a DJ. They knew of him spinning records and stuff, and DJ Scott LaRock was my brother's hero. So then when I came along, I was more KRS-One, and him and Scott LaRock were together with the Criminal Minded record and all that stuff. But My brothers were more Scott Rock. So then we knew Boogie Down Productions as Scott Rock. That was the difference. That was the difference. Now I knew him as that's KRS-One. That's KRS-One in my world because that's who I knew when I came along in '86. Being 11, 12 years old, that was KRS-One. But my brothers were like, no, Scott the Rock's guy. So it was a bit of a balance, and then Scott the Rock was killed and passes along, and it was like, damn, what do they do next? So we became KRS-One fans seriously because he was doing it without the guy that everyone in the Bronx really loved, which was Scott the Rock, who was on a path to be like P. Diddy or something. Because Scott Rock would have been like that. He was on that path. Scott Rock was on that path to be like a P. Diddy or something like that. With the production and the DJing and the whole. Scott Rock was on that trajectory to do that stuff.
Yeah. And that's what gets lost. And I think the hip hoppers now need to know, need to understand that, like what we lost. But it goes back to what we talked about a couple shows ago, the importance of the DJ and how that, we can't forget the DJs.
Never.
And how they made it possible.
Never.
Like, doing it. But go ahead, McKee. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's true. That's true. So I was just checking out Big Daddy Kane's discography. And so here they have him listed as about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, about seven albums, studio albums. They have him as Brother D is asking, are we still on too? What should I tell him, Pastor?
Tell him he need to just hit the link. He should have hit the link before he's sending all that. See, he half sleep. I ain't even.
And Kane, I'm worried about Kane having 7 studio. Wow.
Yeah.
See,
I didn't even know he.
People have been saying that's why D called. That's why D just texted me because I'm channeling my inner D because he would do something like this. He's an analytic guy. So it says.
Well, where did he get 7 from after Prince of Darkness? What happens after that? No, there's something else after that. I'm sorry. There's something else after that. There's something else after Prince of Darkness. There's something else. There's one more album, right?
He had 3.
Something about that made me laugh. I'm sorry. So
Prince
he
of
had
Darkness and
he had Long
something
Live the Kane. Yeah, well, in
we'll run that back. What's after Prince?
Straight. He had Long Live the Kane.
Right.
Then 89, he didn't waste any time. He had It's a Big Daddy Thing.
Okay.
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 Then he went in. Then he went in the booth for everybody that has a sweet tooth, and did Taste of Chocolate, 1990.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
There's what you just.
Wow.
Prince of Darkness was 1991.
Okay.
And then in 1993, he had Looks Like a Job for.
I remember that.
Okay.
Because I think Jay-Z is on that album.
That's where he had Show and Prove.
Yes, that's what I remember. There you go, Pastor Ben. That's Show and Prove.
No.
Yes.
That was no. That was on the one in the year after that. I think. Malcolm, I think that was on the Daddy's Home.
Oh, okay. Something had Jay-Z on it. Show and Prove was with
Show and Prove because they had Sauce Money and ODB.
Right.
Was,
Jay-Z wasn't on that too?
Yeah, he was on it. Yeah.
Okay, what year was that? 94?
That was 94.
Got it. That's the one I remember. Okay.
I remember that one.
That's it. After that, after that, Kane was done to me. What happened after that?
Yeah, that's the main one. He that was the main track, like he put out off of that one.
Yeah. What else is next, Will?
So because he was known to roam, so he put out Daddy's Home. That was 94.
What was on that?
That's the one with the Show and Prove with.
Oh,
Jay-Z.
got it. Sorry, got it.
Mhm.
Okay, Daddy's Home has Show and Prove, 1994. After that, what's next?
The last one, 1998, with Veterans Day.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. Nope. Nope. That was
so
it.
Let's look at Chris.
But is that 7 albums?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
It's 7?
Uh-huh.
Damn. Yeah. All right, Kane. He did more work than I
the Prince of Darkness was the last one that had like hits. You know what I mean? Like multiple.
Yeah, his glory days.
Yeah, because Lover and You, that was my jam.
So
what was that? What'd you say, Pastor? On
that Prince of Dark, that the Lover in You.
The Lover. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Because didn't he have a posse cut with Q-Tip and all them on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was off of him before that, but okay.
Yeah, that was on that. That was
on
that
when
album.
He did that Barry White record. What was Barry White? Was that Quincy Jones's album or something? He did that. I was done with him after that.
Yeah.
That was awful. I'd had it with him. After that, I was done. He checked me out. I was done. So yeah, I was with KRS-One way longer than after that.
Yeah.
Because KRS-One had Boom Bap
and
all that stuff in the 90s. That's why I was with Chris after. Yeah, that's why.
Step into a World.
Yeah, that was 2000.
Look, what he got?
About
20. He got 20. He got 23 albums though.
Go ahead, Will. Give it to us. Because I'm Criminal Minded is always going to be my joint. I still listen to that to this day.
Yeah. So he had Return to the Boom Bap in 93.
Yep.
KRS-One, next album in 95.
Yep.
I Got Next in 97.
That's Step Into a World.
Attack in 01.
Stop. Now you slowing me down now. Now's where we're going to get slow. What? Sneak Attack? What was that?
The Sneak in 01.
2001 was Sneak Attack? Okay. Go ahead.
Spiritual did 02. Chris Styles in 2003.
Okay.
Keep Right in 2004.
Yeah.
Life in 2006. Adventures in MC in 2000. Maximum Strength 08. The BDP album in 12. Never Forget 13. Now Hear This in 15. The World Is Mine 17. Street Light 19. Between the Protests in 2020.
Yeah. Okay.
That's not counting the Boogie Down Production album.
Yeah, but look, man, I forgot. Because he had Premier doing all them tracks. Rappers Are in Danger. Dun, 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 dun.
That's the 90s.
Like they don't know.
That's the 90s. MCs Act Like They Don't Know. And with DOS Effects, they had a record with DOS Effects. Yeah. And he had a B-side with the Cold Crush brothers. The only record the Cold Crush performed on, or one of the only records the Cold Crush actually performed on, I'm thinking, it was a B-side. I got to have to ask Tech because Tech used to play it on his mixtapes. But it was the Cold Crush in the early, and that may have been 94, 95. And Cold Crush was on the B-side to a record when KRS was still on Jive Records.
Okay.
When I say hot and you say low, when everybody say on the do think though, get ready for the throwdown. That was that KRS-One with Cold Crush. And he let them do the hook for him. And that may have been the first piece of vinyl they had ever been on, I believe, in their careers. That was on a major label.
Yeah.
And that was a B-side. So it really wasn't, it was still a B-side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Will, you may want to look that up, because I think it was Cold Crush with KRS. It was on Jive. I think it was like 90. I think Premier may have done the beat too. Premier may have done that. Because that's when KRS was heavy in D&D Studios, and was really working with Preem, to that extent.
And and on that note, Soul Stereo has one of the most popular top 50 MCs of all time countdowns that I kind of saw some value in. They have Rakim comes in at 7.
Okay.
And KRS-One, Big Daddy comes in at 13, and KRS comes in at 14.
Okay.
Considering how old their career, that's like Elgin Baylor still being ranked high. That's impressive. And I know for a couple people want to know, they got Biggie as 1, Nas is 2, Jay-Z is 3, Tupac is 4. So Andre is 5. Strong Eminem is 6. Strong list.
So they have
Rakim is 7.
They have Tupac in front of Eminem and Andre 3000. Okay. Whatever. Whatever. You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah. So
okay.
But
who did that list?
Yeah. So
who did that list, Will?
Soul Stereo.
Oh, okay.
Pretty good publication.
Okay. No, yeah, very good. That's why I was asking. That's why I asked. Yep.
Yeah. But I'm gonna go on. Okay, I'm ready to make my prediction. I'm gonna say Big Daddy Kane is gonna edge him out. But it's gonna be extremely close. Everybody's gonna win, and it's really 2 legends, so it's gonna be who has the better night that night. In my opinion, it's so even.
Yeah.
Wow. That's good.
But I'm on the record.
But I'm gonna say this. There is, ladies and gentlemen. I bring to you at this time, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, out of Durham, North Kakalaki. He's in Durham, the Bull City, but he don't take no bull. Ladies and gentlemen, D. McDonald.
What's up, fellas?
What's going? Hey, Mac, I saw the calls, but my ringer was down. Plus, I was watching the Dave Chappelle special. I'm sorry, I had to get it in before I came on. I'm sorry.
It's been one of them days.
I left Pops early, but we getting into the battle before we wrap up. But I'm gonna say this to McKee's point. I see where you can go with Kane, because Kane had a lot of mainstream hits. But when I went through them albums, though, ready to clap. When I went through them albums, though, if KRS pulls the BDP stuff too, I don't know if Kane's got a shot. I don't know. I don't know. Step into a world. MCs act like they don't know. That's the sound of the police. Black cop. I mean, that's not even touching the BDP stuff. I don't know.
Malcolm, who you got?
I got the Bronx. I got KRS-One every time.
Holding down the Bronx.
Every time. It don't matter. That's our teacher. That's Scott LaRock.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, that's Scott LaRock. It don't even matter. Like that was our hero.
Yeah.
This one's a tough one for me. Who do you have?
It is tough. That's tough for guys that like us, all of us, all four of us that know hip hop. That's always gonna be tough. Like we can't lose now. Like Will said, we ain't gonna lose that one. We can't lose this one. There's no loss in that.
Yeah.
But when you run down the records and the songs, what'll get a crowd jumping. You allow Kane to perform, and he still does a great show. He doesn't have Scoob and Scrap. He has one of them two guys. I don't know which one he still has with him, but he still has one plus the other. They added another kid. I'm sorry, I don't know the other kid's name, but they're still good. Like Kane is a performer. So was Chris. So I don't know. I just know I would have loved to see Rakim and Kane. I tell you that.
Yeah.
That was the one that hip hop people would know that.
Yeah. Don't be.
Yeah, that's D. Hey, D's struggling. D's over there struggling. You see him?
Yeah, don't be
like, oh no.
It's a tough one because if you go head to head, you would miss you would say Kane because Kane's been a solo artist, but you would have to put KRS-One's solo career and his BDP career together, and I think that'll get missed. And that's where it's like, I don't know who could win this one.
And then when you think KRS-One only BDP was KRS-One, he didn't have no one else rapping with him. He was the only. It was just a group name, but he had a DJ and him.
Yeah.
So BDP, I hate to say it like, but Scott LaRock was the DJ and producer, but then Kane was the MC. So it's always, KRS was the MC, so it's always been KRS. It's always been him. Scott LaRock never rhymed or nothing like that.
Nah, he did not.
It's always been KRS. And they only had one album together before Scott LaRock was killed. So, that's how I looked at it. Like, wow, yeah, that was a great group. We thought they would do a lot, but unfortunately it didn't happen. D, would you say, like I said to these fellas, I felt like Scott LaRock was on a path to be like a P. Diddy or something because the way his production was rolling, he had D-Nice, he had Just Ice, they had a crew of dudes who Scott LaRock I knew would have made sure was going to be something, and Scott was a DJ and a producer. So I looked at him like, man, he may have been like what Diddy became. Who knows? That's how I looked at it.
He was headed in that direction.
Yep. See? Yep. Miss Melody, all them groups that they had and people that were moving around in that circle, that's where Scott LaRock I felt would have went with it.
Who would y'all say had the biggest fan base between the two?
See, that's the
depends on where you were.
Yeah. Cause man, I'm gonna be honest, man. I saw KRS at UNC Wilmington back in the day, man, and it was wall to wall, man. It was wall to wall with the college backpack.
But you know, North Carolina cats like Greensboro and Raleigh and Charlotte, they respect hip hop. So and lyrics to go all day long. So they'll sit up in there and jump and bounce around with book bags on like we would do over a KRS-One. And be listening to every lyric he say and say, why did he perform this album cut number 7 on this album? And he should have been doing. Now you go up to a Chicago or something, and they be looking for Kane to jump around with Scuba Scrap Lover and gut flips like James Brown and be loving that. That's just what it depends on what's going on.
I would say Kane because of the commercial success of our work. Yeah. And, he was in the magazines with Madonna and, he
was on a track with Patti LaBelle, man.
right. Fan base, something different than quality of content. I don't remember KRS having that kind of anything close to crossover appeal. He may enjoy that now because some majority of his crowd may be uh, white because of their, of appreciative lyrics is kind of shifted like jazz did. But I would say K, as far as fan base,
Yeah.
D. That's
Well,
what I would say.
He had the commercial success. But I will say though, don't sleep because, like I said, KRS never stopped touring, and he
No,
overseas. And you
he
look at
didn't.
all that, he bringing the international flavor. I mean,
That's a
that's
good
tough.
point.
It's
That's
the
tough.
tough one to call.
He's known as the teacher, and
Yeah.
guys like
To the
Nas,
people.
Kanye West, all those guys flock to him for stuff like So it's just an awkward matchup. And D, we were talking about that, brother D. We were talking about it was an awkward matchup because we all wanted to see Rakim and Kane. That's what we wanted, but we getting this, so we gotta appreciate it and move forward. But the truth is, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know, because it's when you look at KRS-One, BDP together, I think he made like 18, 19 albums.
Yeah, we'll just
23.
Yeah.
And I think only 3 or 4 of them actually went gold. But Kane only had 2. I think Kane had 7 albums and only 2 of them went gold.
Well, after with the Madonna and the Quincy Jones and Barry White and all that stuff, Kane was done.
Yeah.
He couldn't get out a taste of chocolate. After him, I was finished with him. Prince of Darkness, I was like, man, please. I just thought he did a great job early. I think he crossed over. He was into some waters that no one had been in, and he was brave enough to take that chance and do it, which I think many artists now benefit from him doing that.
Yeah.
Because he was the originator of the I'm going to be the rapper that's on the record with Patti LaBelle. I'm going to be the Quincy Jones, Barry White. Kane was out there jumping out there doing that stuff. He just never got his credit for it because it went away quick with what music was doing.
Yeah, it definitely didn't last long.
No. Nope.
And
then you get KRS-One with We In Here, and you get him with Edutainment and Love's Gonna Get You, and all those records KRS-One was moving around. Kane would squash Kane later in his career because KRS was just that. KRS stuck to that formula that got him where he had to go. Kane was on some I get raw, then got into I do work, I get the job done and all that, and went this way. And when that world was done with Kane, they dropped him off. He couldn't come back to hip hop. R&B dropped him off. They were like, hey, we're done with you. But he could never come back to hip hop. And I thought that was unfair for Kane because he took the steps out to open up doors for other people, but then he couldn't come back over where KRS-One stuck to that formula that got him where he KRS-One just was like, I'm gonna stick to this stuff and I'm gonna stick to it.
Yeah, he never left the boom back.
He wouldn't. He refused to. And then Kane was like, let me open up some doors. I mean, if it works for me, it could work for other people behind me. This is cool to do this. They need to know about rap music. Kane took them chances. I don't think he never really benefited from that risk he took. He just didn't.
Yeah.
And when he came back on the Juice soundtrack, that was terrible. Into the Dragon. Nope, we were done.
Yeah.
We were like, okay, Kane, back, but I mean, I don't know.
But he is the progenitor of the fast rhyming, you could argue. When you look at from Bone Thugs to what they're doing now,
Twister,
you know, the lyrical dexterity, Twister. You know, Raw was raw. I mean, it was the reason why he could be in this kind of a battle. It hadn't been done before, and Jay-Z copied it as he launched Z, arguably the GOAT by a lot of people's standards. He copied Kane in a lot of ways. So short stint, yes, but when you talk about lyrical skill and a game change hip hop, it gets him into a fight to be eligible for this fight, to be number 13 on this.
Yes.
It gives him a puncher's chance on next Sunday. It gives him a puncher's chance because when he is still very good on stage. He is.
Will, he's like James Brown. Kane does like a James Brown run through with the dancing and the band. If you give Kane a live band, which I've seen him do with the live band and his dancers, Kane will put you under the ground. Like, because Kane is just that serious about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just that serious. Now, is he going to do some conscious stuff and talk about the police and all that? No, he's not your guy for that. That's why I don't think this is like this. That's one of those battles where you like, all right, well, everybody's good.
But
both guys are good.
I think they're going to battle, though. I think they're going to just.
Oh, no, but you know, Pastor, they're going to get to it now. Pastor Blaster, they're going to get to it. They're going to get to it.
Shut it down. They're going to be like, enough of these hits. Just throw on a beat.
Yep. I think that's what's coming. I see it, too. They're going to throw the gauntlet out and say, man, let's do it. Let's do what we got to do. Mm-hmm.
Let's throw the beat on and let's go.
And that's why the DJs for these two guys are going to mean a lot.
Yeah.
So the DJs are going to mean Kane has DJ Scratch and KRS-One is supposed to have Kid Capri. Yeah. So you're going to get the DJs to do what they're gonna have to form that stuff with their artists. Like, you gotta play this record when you gotta do this shit. They ain't gonna have no technician or DJ to save them. I gotta plug that. They ain't gonna have no technician or DJ to save them. They're gonna have to go out there and literally battle. Because Kid Capri and Scratch are close friends, so they're gonna have to battle each other for the first time ever. So this will be interesting.
Yeah, that pre verses is gonna be live.
Yep,
with Scratch and Capri.
That's gonna be the whole.
If you've seen Kane on Funkmaster Flex, recent footage, his freestyle kills it. Google it.
He was on Funk Flex, Will.
If you've seen Kane. Funk Flex not that long ago.
How long ago? A year ago? Or 6 months?
Now.
How long ago was that? How long ago was that?
Hey,
it wasn't. Let me get my research team. Hey, y'all, pull up Kane on.
Will ain't doing nothing but talking to himself. Will ain't doing nothing. Kane was on Funk Flex.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Funk Flex. Wow. All right.
Is that 2018?
Something like that.
Yeah. 2018?
Yeah.
That's recent. That's the last 3 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Damn, Kane was on there?
So look, if this
Mr. C here to play no games.
Oh, he would have Mr. C. Yeah, he would have.
Going on, we are here. Shit, right, Nate? Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Hope you have some red up in here, but I ain't mad though. It's all love, baby. I appreciate you just spreading it, man. Let me tell you something. So Kane, I See, I would DM him. It's a free concert.
Hey, look, if this one goes well, man, we're gonna see some more old school hip hop guys.
Never been known as a man who lag. Don't stop till
that might be Rakim in LA.
You like stand.
Huh? I gotta pull it. That's McKee.
You don't know where it's at.
McKee, can you
check the stats?
Yeah, I don't know if you. Hold on.
Come on, Super Producer, roll that beautiful footage.
First of all,
I'm gonna send it to you.
Huh? He called. Hold on. He just now got in here and he.
I just.
That's on YouTube.
Yep, it's in your inbox. I mean, well, it's in your text.
Because I started on day to restore logic. So I started to feel harder before I started and four guys went off topic for robotics. And you know there's always some a-hole.
That's right now. I mean that ain't no old that's now. That's current. Can't deal with that right now. New rappers now. It's just like that with him.
Yeah.
Choking on the bone because daddy's home. Isn't that what he said? And if he comes with that symphony, I know Karos won't have no answer for that one. That's what I worry about. Like if this guy brings up the symphony, Chris is in trouble. He'll be in trouble. Because you can't bring D Nice DJing up in the corner with a bunch of flashing lights going on. He won't be able to do that.
Yeah, I can't share from here. Can I be?
You might be able to. Hold on. Let me see if this is the same one I pulled up. No. I'm gonna get it. But look, if this one goes off right, we're gonna see some more old school hip hop.
You think?
Shows. Cause listen.
We need to.
Not in the Barclays Center, we're in trouble. That Barclays, that's an NBA arena. I don't know what made them do that. I don't know who has ties. You cannot do that. You got to remember when the Locks and Dipset did their thing, it was not Madison Square Garden. They all said that it was in the basement in the Hulu Theater, which is the Paramount, to New York is the Felt Forum, which only could fit 5,000 or 5,600 or something. That was perfect for that. But you can't do that in the Barclays Center. You 18,000? I don't know. Ja Rule and Fat Joe couldn't fill the same place that the Locks and Dipset filled. So I don't know why they would think that you're going to do 18,000 in the Barclay.
So do you share it? Because I got it up.
That's 18,000 people. That's a basketball game.
Hold on. You close it out?
Yeah, I can't play it.
That's the NBA Finals.
All I had to do was bring it on. It was backstage.
No, I know what I'm saying. No, it's not you. It's me. I can't play it.
Why not?
On different
Don't
laptop.
worry about it. I got you. Because if you had wings on your tongue, you still couldn't say nothing fly. Here we go. This look like the one.
1, 2.
People say that I stood the best of time. If that's the case, I'ma stand the rest of the time. Never been known as a man who lagged. Don't stop till Papa got a brand new bag. Pockets on swole terabyte bandwidth. You get a little bit of green like Stan Smith. And if you don't know where it's at, here we go, check the stats. I'm the center in the game that blocked your shot. I'm the thug that came home to see who got my spot. I'm the Martin Luther King speech that changed the world. The black snake moan that tamed your girl. The red pill you take to escape the matrix. That sickle cell trait that makes me stay sick. Them Gucci kicks in a rare flavor. The Air Force One's as hot 30 years later. First of all, I'm too versatile alone. With a style and tone that rings like a xylophone. A new era and you can't compile your own. Forget milestones, kid, my miles are stone. I call you and your men out, stay in your place. Y'all cats doing spin outs to stay in the race. But it ain't the case of who's right or wrong. It's who's light or strong, your check engine light is on. So when you go against the guard, be sure about it. Cause I can spit it all day to restore logic. What sure started as pure hearted, we tore started and four got it, went off topic for robotics. And you know there's always some a-hole that like to look at us and say, but they old. He ain't pulling numbers like J-Soul, but I'm trying to reach the K.O.D., J. Cole. Check how they fold when they check your payroll. See what BDK hold, a must to eat. My story's been told, nothing sweet. Matter of fact, hey yo, see yo, fuck the beat. I should mumble my raps, that's just they probably tell me, so I be trapped in the closet like Robert Kelly. You ain't a Machiavelli, you a Machiavelli. And I should put it in your fucking mouth like Acanelli.
Hold on.
You ain't seen nobody this cool since Fonzo.
All right, Kane. Now, let me say this. If Kane bring that heat, I don't know. McKee's the last one to see KRS. Let's keep it. Let's keep it
That's messed up, man.
No.
Don't do that, man.
No, I'm not putting it on the spot, but let's be all. If Kane brings the heat like that versus what you seen from a live show with KRS, I'm just talking about because you were there. Can he
Right.
Can he compete with Kane?
No, he cannot. This is all due respect to one of the god hip hop, Mount Rushmore. KRS is all that. But I will say, having seen KRS recently, KRS songs, as Malcolm said earlier, tear the house down. His songs tear the roof off. There ain't nobody freestyling like what Daddy Kane. That's the best way I can say it, not to come out of Mount Rushmore God like KRS. Ain't nobody doing that. Especially not of that era or anything close to that. They and he didn't either. That's the best way I say it.
So,
and I'm a KRS-One group.
So Kane, so if they battle, Kane may have the edge. Because that was
if it's about freestyle,
that was
you can't touch that. You could put that up against nothing anybody now. What we just, that's rare talent. That's rare talent. You don't see that. And he ain't even doing that regularly every day, and he can do that.
Yeah.
Nobody cuts the beat off on Funk Master Flex show. Nobody does that. They scared.
Well, all right.
Forget the beat.
And up the ante a little bit for Sunday, man. Mac, you quiet over there, man. Come on, man.
It's gonna be tough because that's so different, man. I can't choose on this one because I like them both equally for different reasons. I can't choose. Like I can't do it. Oh, you muted Malcolm.
You muted Malcolm.
I gotta take a page out of DJ Tech's book though. You know, DJ Tech, that New York, they want you to choose. So I went on, got that out the way. Tech wouldn't let off the hook with that. I'm putting my Mac down for Big Daddy Kane. A win on points. Split decision. That's what I'm saying.
Hold up, unmute Malcolm.
I'm going with the Blastmaster KRS One all day.
He stay in Bronx.
Always. There's nothing else I would do. Get out. I can't get out of that one. But I will say, fellas, there's one guy that none of them will fool with of their era. Not Busta Rhymes, because everyone else, no one's gonna ever battle Busta Rhymes. But there's one other dude that's along those times that none of them want to smoke. And no one calls them out. They're quiet about the guy. They're quiet. Because if you get him on stage, he's gonna mop him up. There's one guy.
Who's that?
Y'all tell me. There's one guy out there that's along their lines. There's one guy of that era right along with them. May have been younger when he started, but around the same age when things started to really bubble for them. I think
I'm gonna throw that to Mac first. I need to think on
Think about it. There's one guy out there that stage presence, that's hit records that they want no problems with. There's one dude
that came out around the same time.
Can't be talking about LL.
Absolutely. They don't want it. None of them. None of them. No, and LL told them, any of y'all want me? Call on me. I'll be ready. And no one wants to go to that. No, none of them go to it. Nope. They have a hard time. That's an uphill battle.
Because he got hits through the decades.
That's Cool J. They don't. I'm notorious to squash you like a jelly bean. And they know. And he said that to all. He made that very clear. He said, "I'm waiting because Swiss Beats Jackson." Yeah, that's stuff like that. They don't want that because Swiss Beats Jackson. He told Swiss Beats like, they don't
good
want that.
on that.
He was like, they don't want it.
I just want to see my favorite group of all time battle.
Who that, man?
EPMD, baby. EPMD. I want to see them battle.
That be. See, you make a you could do that if you had Fife. If Fife was alive with the Tribe Called Quest, that would have been great.
Yeah,
you would have had one with them, but you need Fife. Q-Tip cannot do. You need Fife. You'd have had God bless his soul. You would need my man, the Fife Dog, and that would have been classic.
Yeah,
you would need a Fife Dog on that one.
I'm looking for this battle to open up the doors for the old school hip hoppers, man. But McKee, to your point, I got to get an edge to KRS just for the simple fact. To Malcolm's point,
I love this.
He stayed.
I love it. I'm glad
he stayed.
Will loves Kane.
He was around, but if he merges, with the BDP stuff and the solo, I think he got the edge, man. If we just going off of bangers.
And he is BDP. KRS is BDP. He was always a solo act in BDP.
Yeah. Now, Kane's got more commercial success. I think if you say crossover appeal,
that's Kane all day. Kane.
You look at hip hop bangers. There's Jadita. I think KRS has more. I think
so you go ahead and put D in y'all's cap. D is a.
Because Will, you think about records D like still number one.
KRS.
Will thinking about records like still number one, Jack of Spades. Yeah. You gotta remember all them records. Jack of Spades, still number one. Poetry, the P is free. All that stuff that KRS, the bridges. It's a lot. That's a lot. It's love's gonna get you.
This is just BDP stuff.
Boom bap.
But thanks to Jadakiss. Thanks to Jadakiss. and this thing may come down to a backyard brawl, and Kane wins. That's Kane's backyard. There's no lyrical dexterity and rapping clarity like Kane. No. And if it's ugly,
we get it,
ugly, if he drags him in the mud, that's Kane. Kane's got him. But it's 3-1 on here. So next Sunday night, once the votes are tallied up,
Mac, somebody.
Oh, D is KRS. I can tell.
Mac didn't pick nobody.
I can just tell. I think he's with KRS.
I'll be honest. My first instinct is to say Kane, but it's because of he had a greater influence on me in hip hop at that age than KRS-One did. But for me, it's still a toss up. Like I couldn't see. I don't want to commit.
See,
I'll be honest. Like I don't want to
see. And that's like the both way thing. Before we get off the line, fellas, because like Kane had that on D, Karis had that on me, where we didn't because I'm KRS-One and Rakim all day long. So Kane was more cool. 2 albums, get him out of here. He's commercial. I didn't want to hear about him anymore. With Barry White singing and all that stuff, I was like, man, in the Playboy magazines and stuff, I was like, man, go ahead, man. I didn't understand what Kane was trying to do. Now that I look back on it, I figured out, man, he was onto some stuff that he was way ahead of his time. And I just was one of those kids who was caught up in not understanding what was going on. But I was so hardcore Rakim because I felt like Rakim made lyrics serious. So I didn't like all the funny joke around rap. I didn't like all of that. That just didn't appeal to me. Like jumping around and I didn't like all that. Then when Rakim comes and gets serious, I was like, all right, we need more of that. Then KRS-One comes and he's serious. I was cool. When Kane talked about dipping in chocolate and rubbing women's legs, I was like, man, come on, man. This hip hop, man. Ain't nobody doing. Come on, man. I didn't know what he was doing. I didn't understand. I get it now, but at the time, I was like, man, come on, man. Come on, man. Stop, man. Come on. I realized it later. That's why when y'all saw me bob my head to lean on me, that was the Kane. That's the Kane I like.
Yeah.
Ain't no half
stop sniffing and get an education and all of that.
Yeah.
You know, the Joe Clark, the lean on me. I like all of that from Kane. Like that's my Young, Gifted, and Black. That's the Kane I like. All of that serious stuff from him. But when I get raw. I like all of that. But all of that other stuff, that silly shit, nope. I'm like, man, no, man. You got me with that one. Can't do it with you, brother. But I didn't know where he was going. And that's where everyone's going now. So he had a vision that obviously I didn't see it, and a lot of people probably didn't see it.
Yeah.
Because Will, you said he had an album like looks like a job for the. Didn't he have an album like looks for?
Yeah. Looks
that's
like a job
from him. Okay, that's the one with Jay-Z in him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I remember that. I had that album. Yep, I remember that. Yep. So I had something after Prince of Darkness. Yeah. Yep. I had that. Yep. But he was doing stuff that rappers would are doing now when they sleep.
Yeah. But
I think the industry kind of did it to him.
Yeah.
I think they did it to him too. I would be shocked if he had all of that planned out. I think he the way what he was, I think people in mass media, it was like one of their early opportunities to latch on to somebody that clearly like had a way with the women, had a appeal, and I think they grabbed him too. And he was who he is was he was open to that. And he fit the description. I mean, he fit the image that was great on magazines, and they went with it. But he has songs on some of those albums too that did prick the consciousness and went real deep in knowledge too, because he was about that as well. You know, dramatic Asiatic like many. So you know,
Will, those were his early days. Will, those were his early days.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, but
by the time we got to him later in his years, he wasn't doing that anymore.
Yeah, he was on the smooth lover.
Yep.
Playboy tip, and it just kind of ran its course. But that's the industry, you know. They trying to sell records at that time.
Yeah, and trying to stay alive and feed your family. You got to take care of people, and you got to do a whole lot of stuff. So I would never want to be in his position because that was tough for him. I know it was.
Yeah, that was the image took him that way. I think, you know, and like you say, I mean, to give KRS credit, he didn't stray from it. He had a few commercials, but you know, I think Kane was a pioneer for the lover in you, maybe the party, the kickback. I mean, he opened some doors, so we give him respect for that. We give him respect for that, man. But to close it out, we just know that Mac, we said we're gonna come on after the verses next Sunday.
Okay.
And follow up because we know you still gonna walk the fence. So that's okay, Mac. It's okay. Look at that, Janita. To my versatile. Yes, Kane was versatile, but Janita, we know that's not the main reason you liked him. We know, Janita. Don't front. Don't front.
Hey, Will.
Mm-hmm.
Will, who said, and I'll take you through a walk through hell and freeze your dome and watch your eyeballs swell.
I think that was the brother from Amityville.
Now Ra had lyrics, but I'm gonna leave that alone for our next discussion.
Yeah, baby.
I'll take you through.
Rock him Allah, switch it around.
And when I'm gone,
come on now, come on.
That's all I want to
say. When I eat MCE, I'm telling you.
I don't know. I guess why I'll be like, I don't know.
I just
so.
But nobody in rounds saying like who hit off rounds with like I just shake them and break them and fake them and hold them. Nobody did that. Nobody did that.
Assalamu alaikum. I know.
Now look, Kane was hard, and he's one of the best lyricists. He was ahead of his time, especially with the catchphrases. Nobody, you know, I think it was just the way his image took him. Because even when he was doing Ain't No Half Stepping, he was, look at the second album. I mean, he was in that image of the smooth operator. And I think that image took him and he couldn't stay in the lean on me type, you know. And it was just
and you got remember Pastor Ben. And you got to remember with Pastor Ben, when he came back and did Lean On Me, that's why I liked him so much, because that was a few years after Raw, all that. When he came back and did Lean On Me, I was like, well, he still got it. Because that's the Kane I liked.
Yeah.
Because that's one of my favorite records was Lean On Me. That and Young, Gifted, and Black.
Yeah.
But and what y'all are highlighting too is that epic struggle of industry radio play, sticking true to your soul, your heart, which to your point earlier, Malcolm, KRS-One like somebody like the Roots, who just stuck to the playbook of cultural sound, Africana studies. If it doesn't, whatever it does, I'm not changing. So you gotta salute that, and that's all of our struggle in this space. A lot of times, what will you do? What you need to do to increase your profitability? Are you gonna say, "Hey, I'm on my stick. This is my calling, and this is what I'm gonna put out there"? So hip hop is always like that epic struggle on authenticity, and I want to see what they're going to say in the sidebar comments between songs. How do they see the world now? I wonder if they'll talk about that.
And we're the only culture who we have to actually choose. We're the only culture that they do that to.
Right.
Meanwhile, it's the number one generating jobs, income, revenue. We're the only one. We're the only culture that does that. That keeps the music industry going. Yet our artists have to choose. Led Zeppelin didn't have to choose. Queen didn't have to choose. They don't have to do nothing but show up. Bon Jovi didn't have to choose. Kiss didn't have to choose. They show up and do what they do. We the ones that looking crazy. You want to go over there or stay over here? Why can't we do both? We can't do both. But because we came from nothing. And people get mad because we have that, and I'll let it go after this. We have that instinct of who's better. This is the only genre of music where it's competitive to where I'm better than you. And how did that start? My mind is better than yours. I can come up with better words. I can put words together better than yours. And we're going to battle. And we're going to see who's going to have supremacy on our street, on our block, in our hood. That's what hip hop is at. So why are you going to get mad at us? That's just what hip hop is. It's not, I'm about to have a better stage show than yours. Oh, great. After we're all millionaires, that's wonderful. Damn, you better than us. Damn, but we all rich, though. But you better than us, though. Who would care? But hip hop comes along and it's like, man, I'm better than you. How? We battle on the train. We may battle in the street, in school. Who's better? Let's decide right now who's going to be better, because the one that's better is going to move on. They made it like that. That's hip hop. It's like any other sport.
So when you look at
ain't like that, R&B ain't like that.
But that's what we've talked about too, boy, with Dr. Will Boone up at Winston-Salem State. When the culture of Sedgwick and Cedar in the Bronx is exported throughout the world, or in this case throughout the country, and it lands in Omaha, Nebraska, or Wilmington, North Carolina, or Orlando, Florida, where the rat race of competitive life is not quite the same as it is in the Bronx. But you found people in Wilson, North Carolina, becoming braggadocious MCs, talking about they were better than you, which was really not what. I mean, you jump talk here in sports, or there was always people in the street that did that, but it wasn't our default position like it is in New York City. That city is like that, right? If you attempt drive in New York, you never get off that intersection. You gotta have money to live, a little more than some other places in the. So we always were interested in hip hop's impact on society is interesting too. It's a tale of two cities. There's some good in it, but it's also a very riced spirit in a lot of it.
To this day.
Yeah.
And I laugh, D and Pastor Ben and Will. I laugh because now that it's crazy, because with DJing, especially you and all you guys know, because y'all been around the music so long, like I have, we all been around the music so long. When you get a guy like Technician, and my guy makes it, oh nah, we not letting up on y'all now. We're gonna put our foot on your throat because y'all held us up for so many years. I'm like, nah, man, we're not doing that. We're not gonna do no collaboration with them. No, unless they pay us, we're not doing all that. Because I go back into my mind, like, man, remember when they did? Remember when they wouldn't let us do this? Remember when they told us we couldn't go to that? Or they just blocked us out of that? Cool. I'm not fooling with them. And that's our approach. It's crazy, but that's how it has to be now. Also, they just, you guys know, they just step over you. And then you just keep getting stepped on and mopped over, trying to be the nice guys on the block. You just get kicked to the side and people just move on. No. At some point, you got to say no. No.
But then there's self-destruction, which is still for collective unity. Then you got all in the same gang, and then you got, look at verses. You got a Virginia guy, Timberland, who partners with a New York City guy
from the Bronx. That's Swiss.
To make the verses.
Yep.
From the Bronx. So it's the tale of two cities. Nothing. We liked hip hop too because a brass battle was much better than a gang fight. A rap battle much better than bullets flying. So, you know, I give props to hip hop. So hip hop hooray in that respect, because they changed it to b-boying, with previously a war. So for those who don't like some of the lyrics, nobody else was coming to save our communities. Nobody else was stepping in.
Nobody.
I mean, churches were running for cover. People riding in these neighborhoods that have moved out of the neighborhood, but the church is still in the neighborhood. They got the doors locked, riding in, go in for service, come back out, lock the doors, and ride back to the suburbs. Somebody had to do something. And we did it ourselves. We said, no, we're going to break dance instead of breaking limbs. You know, that. So you can't get that part of hip KRS-One embodies that like nobody else. When I get too hard on hip in its lyrical content, I got to remember that, hey, hip hop stepped in and made a lot of peace.
Yep.
Which is why we say peace, our phrases. That was a prayer. That was peace that we wished upon somebody that we might have fought against years ago. But because of this culture, we can at least not fight here and look for unity. Yeah.
No doubt.
Definitely agree.
We thank KRS-One, man, and Big Daddy Kane, those two, but KRS-One, I mean, good Lord. You deserve the rank of peace, the Gandhis of the world, the Desmond Tutus. Because when a KRS song comes on, you do not think about warring with another neighborhood. You think about learning. What is he saying? That's some unifying spirit there.
Yeah.
And we need that. Long live KRS.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna be very interesting.
But y'all know I'm getting older.
And Ben, when sisters like Janita say that it's demeaning, you know, we gotta listen to that, because that's how a lot of people definitely feel right now. I mean, when the music changed, J. Rue the Damager was kind of talking about that, for example.
Right. My dude.
It was mistaken as an East-West beat. But I think those brothers were just saying, hey, we welcome anybody. If you're trying to sink foolishness into what we value that has saved lives, then we're not with that. So don't gangsterize this thing. These were real gangsters. Just Ice and them boys, they were real gangsters coming up out of that into trying to be a different life. So, you trying to kind of like KRS-One song, I Used to Love Her. It's like, no, this was a peace movement, man. Y'all missing it.
Yep.
Not everybody over there was missing it. Not everybody.
Yeah.
Because there's some great MCs out there that were bringing people together. But he was speaking to this element that comes to divide and gangster. Nah, we got enough of that. Like,
J. Rue the Damager, control the mic like Fidel Castro, like Cuba. So deep that I said scuba dive.
My job's origin is unknown like the truth. Listen, J. Rue.
Because I Cuba the honeys all across the map because I'd rather bust a nut than bust a cap in your back. You already know, that's the Damager. One of my favorites. That's the Damager. That's the Damager.
J. Rue is my guy.
Damager.
That's right.
That's the Damager right there.
I just connected with J. Rue.
That's the Damager. That's the Damager.
But
Come Clean was big.
Oh,
it was.
Come Clean was. That's a classic.
And what it represented.
But you look who he came up under. He came up under Gang Starr, the movement, so
group like home and then and my favorite from him was the Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Yeah.
And he was
the original was called The Original, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. The original.
To Brooklyn and back again, money. But it was that whole movement. Guru, everything was bringing that consciousness to bring guys out of that. And stuff to heal the community. Step in the arena. The group home. All the it was just.
And when they did stepping in before we leave out, when they did step in the arena, Guru wrote that. I didn't know that. I think I told you that Premier said Guru wrote that about real life. Like that was life. Step in the arena of life. And we were thinking he just meant in a video stepping in some fight ring. No, he meant step in the arena. You're gonna need her. You're gonna need her. And he went into all of that. But that was like step in the arena of life and getting that circle of life and make your way in life. And I didn't even know that. I thought he meant like a real battleground. No, he was talking about real life. Just getting the world up in life. Yep.
Yeah.
And big shout out to the Elam family, man. He comes from a great family. Guru, always rest in power to him.
His father,
a noted legal mind. My former boss at the Phelps Stokes Fund,
and he's from Boston, Janita.
Yeah. A Roxbury guy. But my former boss used to work with his dad and his mom, and they were Harvard folks. So Harvard was lucky to have them. Let's be clear. But love Guru, love. And it always represented something bigger. Malcolm's point. Always represent something bigger.
Yeah. But we're gonna celebrate. We're gonna see if this is gonna be the launch pad.
Let's see,
bro. Yeah, we're gonna see if it's gonna be the launch pad to bring more of the old school hip hop, and we gonna get Rakim on it. But now, the KRS and Kane, Rakim might have to go in LL.
Not gonna happen. Not going. That's done. That's done. Nope. I'm telling you here right now on your show. Nope. That time has passed. We're over that. I'm already telling you. Ain't nobody messing with L. And I'm here to tell you, nope, that was it. The window, the only window was the Kane window.
Yeah. But on that note, y'all, we gonna get at it again.
All right.
We might have to chop it up one more time before the actual show. We'll see to get the juices flowing. But man, I appreciate y'all, brothers. Mac, I'm gonna get with you, brother. We got a lot to talk about.
Yep.
Malcolm, always a pleasure. You know what I'm saying? Hold down the Queen City. Look, keep it popping down there. So you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And brother McKee, as usual, you know how we do. Shout out to the chat. Yoga Sister.
October 16th.
Anita. What's that?
October 16th. Everybody, crop walk for hunger.
National
day for us to make a dent in this hunger issue in our country. That's something we ought to agree with. October 16th. Go to cropwalk.com and check out what's going on in your area of the world. And I encourage you to get involved.
Yes, sir. And my cousin Charles Whitfield goes into the North Carolina Music Hall of Fame, right, Will, on October 21st.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we're so proud of my cousin for doing what he's doing. October 21st, Charles Whitfield goes into the North Carolina Music Hall of Fame, and we're going to have a good time celebrating that because we don't get too many of those that could do what he did and break some grounds and open up some doors from artists as we talk about to tell their truth and speak their truth and sing their truth. He's been able to do that. So with that said, just want to say that.
No doubt.
And he goes in with Donald Lawrence, Jermaine Dupri, Michael Malden, some great people. Big Daddy Kane's in there. Ninth Wonder. It's a Hall of Fame.
Yep.
No doubt. Well, all right, brother.
Roberta Flack.
Y'all enjoy it. And until next time. Peace.